Bitcoin is an ideology that spawned a protocol that created an asset that circulates on a network. The ideology is sovereignty, sound money, freedom and property rights, right? Dignity of the human spirit, ownership of your life force, economic sovereignty and immortality. That's the ideology of Bitcoin. And Satoshi gave us that.
Altcoins come and go, narratives change, but Bitcoin is the truth. The hardest money the world has ever seen. I thought about it, long and hard, pros, the cons, dug deep, questioned everything. And at the end of the day, you've got to make up your own damn mind. I have conviction. This is freedom. I'm a Bitcoin maxi. This is freedom. I'm a Bitcoin maxi.
All right, legends, another live stream. Let's do some technical analysis here on the price of Bitcoin. Hope you're all having a fantastic Tuesday. Currently 10 to 2 in the afternoon in South Africa, starting to slowly turn into spring. Sun is starting to come up a little bit earlier in the morning. Sun is starting to set a little bit later. Right, so the seasons are changing. We're coming out of winter. Some of you might be in summer. You're going into winter at the moment. But, you know, that's the thing about trading. It brings us all together. Various people from different countries all over the world. I mean, if I look at the statistics from my YouTube channel, I literally have people from all over the world joining the live streams here. So welcome. I appreciate everyone's support. And this is where we do pure technical analysis. Let me see if my mic's coming through, my picture's coming through, everything looks good. Okay, guys, we have new information on the chart. Okay, so I want to go through the probabilities again. We're going to tackle some simple support and resistance. We're going to look at trend lines. We're going to look at Elliott wave theory. You know, I look I like to look at a combination of things because I use different trading strategies depending on what the market gives me. Okay, we as a community are currently in a long position, and I will show that long position. I will also show the trade that we took together yesterday. And right, so let's dive into the technical analysis. Right, legends, here on the 4-hour time frame, just looking at the structure over here. And maybe before we get into the larger time frame, let's go back here onto the 1 hour, okay? Because I think this is the question on everyone's mind. What on earth, Dewald, what is happening here? Okay, this is now the question on everyone's mind. Is this an impulse and this a correction? We're going to go and claim the high again. Is this going to continue to the downside? Are we going to get choppy sideways, okay, and then continuation to the upside? Well, there's new information here on the chart, okay, and so before, I think that's going to be better, before I dive into this, guys, let's just quickly go back to the 4-hour time frame, okay, and you all know that we have been talking about this contracting diagonal, okay? Contracting diagonal, let me see, on the macro time frame, right? We have all been talking about this contracting diagonal. But there's new information on the chart, okay? And the new information on the chart is we took this high, okay? This high took that high. And this is now the question. Is this, okay, is this still going to make a 3-wave structure up to complete this 5th wave? Or is it over? Okay, should we be moving the 5th wave over there? Right, and now we are starting a bigger correction here to the downside. Right, legends. And you know, this, I don't have a crystal ball, I don't have the answers, but for me it's just observing the invalidations. Okay, we have an invalidation to the upside and we have an invalidation here to the downside. Right, so we will know, well, I will know once the invalidation is tapped, 5th wave is in, and we could be looking at a larger corrective structure. Okay, so a little bit of caution that I just want to show over here is that there is still the chance, and we will go look at the, you know, this little structure over here. We will go look at that in a second. But from a contracting diagonal perspective, there's a chance that the 5th wave is in, and we are going to start a larger corrective structure. Okay, yes, we could bounce here, okay, make a lower high and continue momentum to the downside. It's one of the scenarios that I want to discuss. Okay. There's a chance that we bounce, right? And we go and make one more high. There's even a chance we go tap the invalidation and $150,000. Here we come. Okay, but the only thing I want to highlight with this contracting diagonal is that there's a chance that the 5th wave is done, because the minimum requirement for the 5th wave is to take that high, which it did. Okay. Right. Cool, legends. Something else I want to discuss here on the larger time frame, okay? And this is one of the scenarios that I've also been keeping an eye on. Is, I don't know if I have it prepared, but let's draw it out here quickly, okay? Is that you're just forming multiple 1-2s. You have a 1, 2, okay, 3, 4, 5 there to the upside, and yeah, you're forming another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here to the upside. Okay, the invalidation for this scenario, let's just keep it simple, is the low. So, if I take a fib, okay, I'm just going to keep it simple here, guys, from the low to the high that we've created, okay, price can come down in an ABC, A, B, C. You don't want to really lose the 0.786 at $103,928. Give or take, depending on which exchange you use to do your analysis on. So all I'm trying to highlight here, even if it gets really scary here to the downside and price holds this level, okay, from a maximum perspective, remember it can find support anywhere in this zone. I'm just highlighting the maximum level over here. you could still, stuff the contracting diagonal. You could still have a 1, 2, 1, 2, and it just absolutely explodes to the upside. 150, 160, even $200,000, it can just literally climb like a rocket to the upside. The invalidation is whatever happens over here, price should not take this low. That is the hardcore invalidation. Preferably it holds $103,900. Okay, so guys, there's a chance. Okay, I know that we're all looking at the ending diagonal, contracting diagonal, and it looks, like it balances nicely. It has all of these three-wave structures, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, you guys get the point. It looks like a contracting diagonal. Okay, but there's a chance, okay, that this is 1, 2s. I think Koens, I watched a little bit of Koens's update, just the beginning of Koens's update. I'm not sure if you guys watched Koens's update as well. And he made a very important point, and I actually forgot about that, is that, okay, and kudos to Koen, okay, Koen, if you're watching this live stream, I need to give credit where credit is due. A multiple 1, 2, okay, or even a triple 1, 2, to get that explosion to the upside, always has the highest probability over a diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then an ending diagonal. So if an ending diagonal basically means you have 3 waves up, 3 waves down, 3 waves up, 3 waves down, 3 waves up, okay, carries the second highest probability. This has the highest probability. An ending diagonal has the second highest probability, and then a leading contracting diagonal, which I've just discussed, where we make a higher low and continue the bull market, actually has the third highest probability. Okay, and kudos to Koens for highlighting this. So from a probability perspective, if you want to trade probabilities, okay, because we trade probabilities, this scenario has the highest probability. Then an ending diagonal, then a leading diagonal. So if I have to translate this back into the price of Bitcoin, okay, so let's just delete all the noise here on the chart. Right, so based on this little structure over here, okay, this structure carries the lowest probability. It is number 3. Purely based on probabilities. I'm just throwing the theory out there. Okay? What carries the highest probability is a 1, 2, 1, 2, and we go. That actually carries the highest probability. This could even be another 1, 2, 1, 2. You do not take this low, and we continue here to the upside. So you have a triple 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, poof, and you fly here to the upside. So a multi 1, 2 combo actually carries the highest probability. Just something to keep in mind. Okay, so we are dealing with probabilities at the end of the day, but if I look at this scenario, the scenario that carries the second highest probability is that maybe the scenario is valid, but the second highest probability requires to take out the low. Only the third highest probability requires us to make a higher low, okay, after the 0.382 and continue momentum to the upside. Just something to keep in mind. The market is here to surprise us, okay? The one thing I do not like, I'll be honest with everyone, is that I see everyone talking about this scenario. People that do proper technical analysis and knows their Elliott wave scenarios. I see everyone talking about this scenario. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done. We continue to the upside. And when everyone starts looking at a scenario, okay, that's usually when a scenario starts carrying lower probabilities. Right, cool. So I quickly just wanted to start off the live stream just highlighting the scenarios here at the moment. From a structural perspective, without looking at Elliott wave theory, just to keep it simple, price is still making higher highs and higher lows. So the structure is still intact. Okay, so can we get a deeper correction? Yes. We don't know, but we need to respect the trend, and the trend is your friend until the very end. And the trend is still up. We still have a higher low. I think there's some people looking at a trend that's been lost. Fair point. Okay, I think there's a trend that has been lost over here, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, the trend has been lost, guys, but we all know fake outs exist. As long as price can keep a higher low, there's a chance to claim that high again. Okay, shit's only going to start really hitting the fan when you claim this low, right? So for me, there's nothing to panic. Yes, okay, there's signs, guys. There is signs. You have lost trend. You're losing momentum. And that's why I put in the thumbnail and in the title of today's stream that it looks like Bitcoin is losing steam. But it could be a fake out, okay? And it continues momentum back to the upside, giving us one more high. Or it absolutely explodes. We all, everyone is expecting that September correction. And from a historical perspective, yes, it is true. Data proves that historically, I'm not sure why my atom alarm went off right there, but I think I'll be getting some upwards momentum. I will zoom into guys, I'm going to zoom into the smaller time frame in a moment. Let's just tackle and finish up the larger time frame over here. So for now, we do not have any reason to be bearish because we still have a higher low. And remember, structure comes first before any trend, before any Elliott wave scenario, before anything. Structure always takes priority. We still have higher highs and we still have, for the moment, a higher low. Okay? If price had to fall down here and claim this low, okay, then I'm going to say, okay, shit. Now we are changing structure. We're making a lower low. You could go back up and make a lower high. Now, then you are officially changing market structure. When you start changing market structure, that's where your bias needs to shift to say that now I'm looking for shorts. Okay, now I'm looking for longs, now I'm looking for short, depending on the market structure. For now, market structure is still intact. Guys, and it's just based on the information that I see here on the chart. Yes, can you break down? Okay, if you believe that this is a breakdown over here, okay, stop goes above the high, and you are looking for downwards momentum. So from a trading strategy perspective, I mean, there's a trade, okay, there's a short trade, right? You're losing trend. You decide how you want to execute this trade. I'm currently in a small little scalp long trade, okay? And I will go through that in a second. Right, so yes, I'm acknowledging the break of trend, and I did see some people pointing out, Dewald, we're losing trend, Dewald, we're losing trend. Yes, I acknowledge that we're losing trend, but guys, I have seen many times where you lose trend and you break down, but I've also seen many times where you lose the trend, people short like crazy maniacs, and it breaks back inside, because you need to consider market structure first. Always. I would rather, before I consider any shorts, I would rather consider price taking the low. Now I'm going to be like, okay, market structure is changing. The retracement becomes my shorting opportunity. Okay, but I want to see a three-way structure to the upside. Now that is where I short, not here. Okay, I would rather want to jump into a confirmation trade than just shorting here. Okay, at the moment. Right, I have alarms going off and I'm not sure why. Mr. Atom, don't know why I have an alarm on Atom. I'll need to go and look in a moment. Right, so legends, now we can zoom into here on the smaller time frame. Okay, let's go to the 1 hour time frame. Oh, wait. Before I jump into the 1 hour time frame, let's first still stay here on the 4 hour. I just want to look at this structure. Okay, right, here we go. Just want to look at this little structure over here. Okay, remember to smash up that like button. I will go through some comments in a moment. Hope you guys are enjoying the technical analysis. I guess what I've been pointing out so far is just the obvious, okay? And hopefully some sanity amongst the chaos, right? And, right, legends, but for me, I will be honest with you guys, when I take you through what happened yesterday and what happened today from a trading perspective, I absolutely do not care what happens here. I really don't care if we take the high or if we take the low, or take this low. I don't care. All I need is volatility, because volatility enables me to get into trades. Okay, and we made a nice little trade here yesterday and again today, right? Nice little trade. And I mean, you can make nice money with these small little moves, believe it or not. Okay, right, so legends, the most bearish case scenario. Okay, let's talk about the most bearish case scenario. Maybe before I do that, I really like today's thumbnail, by the way. I'm not sure if you guys saw that bull in the background, right, legends? Remember, if you'd like to come and trade with the best exchanges, the best sign-up bonuses, the links are down in the description of this YouTube video. I did see there's a couple of people that signed up with a Bluffin link, okay, because they want that VIP 1 and VIP 2 status. By signing up with the link below, you will get access to VIP 1 and 2 depending on how much you deposit. You don't have to trade. Someone asked me the question, do I have to trade a certain amount of volume as well? No. You will get VIP 1 if you deposit $25,000, and if you deposit $50,000, you will get VIP status 2. You don't have to trade. If you do then trade, obviously you will get rewarded. Money will get airdropped into your account because you do get trading volume bonuses as well. So Bluffin is at the moment my favorite exchange. I really enjoy trading on Bluffin. I've been doing most of my trading on Bluffin. I still have my swing trades open on BTCC as well. And the reason people love BTCC is because you can also trade stocks, okay? Facebook, silver, gold on BTCC as well. So if you're a type of trader, a crypto trader, and you want to nibble and dab into the Forex and the commodity market as well, then BTCC is your option. Okay, and then as always, I've got weeks here as well. You still get that 20% on top of the money that you deposit. You get 25% discount on your trading fee, and you get upgraded to VIP status 1. Okay. Without depositing anything, guys, just by using this link, you get VIP status 1. Okay, right. And for all 3 of these exchanges, all you need is an email and a password to sign up. Okay, they're not going to ask you for your daughter's documents and, you know, what you ate for dinner last night, whatever the case might be. Right, Legends, also your way to support the channel. If you want to join our Legends Pro community, here's the link down in the description, where we took 2 trades yesterday and today, which I'll go through in a second. Okay, this is the trade we took yesterday together. Played out to perfection. Okay, guys, here's the breakout. I'm going in, okay, and this is what I'm targeting. Smashed out, took the high, and actually the price went even higher. It came back for a retest, stopped me out, doesn't matter. I closed with 90% of my profits here at the top. Right, so I will talk about that when we get to the smaller time frames. Now, let's talk about the most bearish case scenario. Okay. Let's look at where, and here we go. Right, guys, ABC flat. So if this is the top, okay, and this is part of a larger A, B, and now we are going to absolutely dump here in a C wave to the downside that can go as low as $105,000, $101,000. You can see you will potentially still not take this low. So there's a chance, even if price just dumps here in a ABC, you still expect a higher low and continuation back to claim these highs. Okay, so this, for the moment, locally is the most bearish case scenario that I do see. Okay, but then price needs to dump here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and maybe there's multiple 1, 2s building up here. I'm not going to get too technical at the moment. But you want this to be your impulsive structure and this to be your corrective structure. So impulse, correction, continuation. Okay, worst case scenario. So at least we have it on our radar. So if price just all of a sudden decides to woof here to the downside, just, you know, it just smashes through all the support levels that we have here to the downside, well, then I'm going to be paying attention. 1.618 and the 2 extension, very important zone where price could find its feet and start reversing back to the upside. Right, I have always said that this scenario carries slight lower probability for me because of the structures that are forming inside of this local move here. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys, well, I have a green line over there that shows important for the bulls to claim, because if I go here onto the 1 hour time frame, Okay. It's such an important line, guys. So, I mean, the only way that I can successfully count a 1 and a 2 is over here. Okay. And now you have another 1. Okay. It didn't break down in a third wave. So the only conclusion is it's forming multiple 1, 2s. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. And then you absolutely just fall here to the downside. If price taps this little high over here, it invalidates momentum to the downside. So for the bulls, this is the line that needs to be claimed. If the bulls can claim this line without moving down first, I'm going to say there's a high chance you're going to claim that high. Okay. Because the reason is if you're forming multiple 1, 2s to the downside, 1, 2, okay, and this is now a 1, 2, well, it's not allowed to claim that high. If it claims that high, it invalidates the second 1, 2, and you're most likely going to continue momentum to the upside. So a very important line to claim for the bulls, and this actually is for most of the bearish case scenarios, okay? This pivot needs to be claimed for the bulls to gain control. As long as price is trading below this area, there's a high chance, okay, you're either going to go sideways or you're going to fall down. So for the bulls, okay, I'm talking to you bulls out there, okay, this is the zone that needs to be claimed, right? So this is where you put your $1 billion and you push price here to the upside and you make us all happy. Okay, so if you ever wanted to 100x your $100, your million or your $1 billion account, well, today is the day. Right. Cool. Now, what I want to do is most bearish case scenario, we have discussed it. Okay. But then you have to consider that this is not an impulse. This is then a 3-wave corrective structure in a B. Okay. So you then label this as a 3-wave structure, which is a WXY, however you want to count it. ABC doesn't really matter. And now you are building impulses here to the downside to complete 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to find support for continuation here back to the upside. Right. Let's take this out the way. Yeah. Then there is this scenario. Okay. So this scenario is a little bit more bullish. I still have the scenario, just keeping an eye on it. Okay, so basically this low is protected and we're forming a sideways corrective structure, W, X, Y. Inside of your Y, now what you want to form is an A, B, C to complete your B wave and another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You find support here by $110,000. Okay, depending on how high this B wave goes will determine how low the Y wave goes. Okay, so in this scenario, okay, well, you're going to see it's going to claim that pivot, right? Which gives probability to the bulls, which means that in this scenario, if you claim that line that I've just highlighted, you could still take the low, okay, but I'm not expecting a breakdown. I'm expecting a sideways corrective structure still. So this is kind of the worst case scenario, that if the bulls claim this line, there's still a chance that you take this low one more time and then continue momentum back to the upside. Right, now I want to go into... Yeah, I mean, so this is now where this is an impulse, guys. So the correction ended over here. This is a 1, 2, okay, 3, 4, 5 that either ended over here, and this is part of an A, B, C corrective structure. So guys, for the bulls, it has to hold, right? This zone needs to hold at the moment. So there's still a chance for the bulls that the corrective structure came to an end. This is an impulsive structure, and this is part of a 3-wave structure that has to end. Okay, because it's getting very close to invalidations. So if I zoom into this little structure and I take a fib from the low to the high, okay, we are here at the 786. Okay, This is considered a maximum target, preferably for a wave 2. So if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC, which basically means this is 1, okay, this is 2, and you expect a third wave here to the upside, well, this is the zone that needs to hold. Yes, the hardcore invalidation is taking the low. Okay, but it's preferred that your second wave has a maximum target of the 786. If you tap the 0.88, yes, you can still get the bounce, but then you're starting to impact probabilities. Okay. Right, so for the bulls, guys, this is the level that needs to hold. Okay, this is the level that needs to hold. Okay, it really needs to hold over here. If the bulls have any chance, you know, you could still get some choppiness here maybe, okay, but you need to hold to this zone over here, right? Break the trend for continuation here to the upside and claim that damn pivot over there. Claim the pivot, because that pivot invalidates a lot of bearish case scenarios. Okay, right. So what I want to go through now is, let's go here onto the 15-minute time frame and look at the local structure. Let's wait for this to load up. Guys, I will go through the comment section in a moment. I just want to get all the scenarios here out the way, and then I will spend some time here in the comment section. Okay, so the one thing I was looking at this morning is to say that, well, if this is going to absolutely break down, okay, and go to $100,000, it's just going to smash to the downside, okay? I was looking at this as the worst case scenario, a 1 and a 2, okay? And then we stopped. We stopped over here, because if you have a 1 and 2, 3 needs to go. It needs to fall, and it didn't, okay? So the only scenario is maybe this is another. Okay, 1 and 2, and this is why I jumped into this long trade over here, okay, which I'll go through in a second, is because worst case scenario is if this is a 1 and a 2 and this is another 1 and a 2, well, then this needs to be 5 waves to the downside and an A, B flat, C wave here to the upside, and I wanted to take advantage of the C wave here to the upside. And there's a chance, okay, for whoever is inside of this trade at the moment, that it could even come and take this high, okay? It does not take this pivot, and you have your 3-wave corrective structure. Beautiful 3-wave corrective structure, and you get continuation to the downside. So I was only looking to take advantage of this little move over here. Right, that's the trade I highlighted early this morning. So let's go here onto the 5-minute time frame. So just to show you guys, regardless, because you might be asking yourself, well, which scenario Dewald is going to play out? Quite frankly, I don't care which scenario is going to play out, okay? From a swing trade perspective, I do care. But for me, from a swing trade perspective, I'm not feeling it just as yet. I would rather get into a confirmation trade, which means if we tap this level over here, okay, I will consider a swing trade. That's it. Until then, I'm sitting on my hands. I'm not doing any swing trades, right? And if price wants to break down without taking this high, I know where to look for a swing trade further to the downside. Right, so from a swing trade perspective, okay, so these scalps that we're getting into from a day trading perspective, yes, you can always leave some of that position open if you think, well, maybe this was the low. Okay, maybe this was the low, right? You can leave some of those swing trades open, no problemo. Right, so let's go through what happened yesterday. Okay, beautiful trade. You guys can see here is where I took the trade on Bluffin, but just to get that out the way, this is the trade that we took together yesterday. I know it looks like an absolute mess, okay, but just to explain to everyone, it was as simple as there was a break of trend over there. But most importantly, this is the one that we got into, that little break of trend. Okay, I think I if I'm not mistaken, I posted the 3-minute time frame. What time frame was this? 3-minute time frame. Yes, where I highlighted this little trade over here. Okay, yeah, that's me being very degen, guys. You don't often see me scalping the 5-minute, 3-minute, 1-minute time frame. But I mean, I was just like, the probabilities are high to come and claim this high. okay? And I highlighted that trade, and obviously, you know, guys, it played out. Beautiful retest, by the way. But back here onto the price of Bitcoin, this is basically what happened, guys. I am playing the breakout, okay? I'm targeting the high. And what did it do? Broke out, claimed the high, okay? Very sexy, beautiful trade. And then this happened, right? And I told the legends, that's why it's so important to take profits to the upside, okay? Because I got stopped out at break even. I don't care. It did find upwards momentum again, guys. I don't care whether it found upwards momentum again, because the most important thing for me as a day trader is my trade played out. What happens after the trade, I don't care, okay? I will then look for a next trading opportunity, right? Because you could sit there and be, well, what if I left my stop loss here below the low? What if I did, no, what if some more, okay? It doesn't matter, guys. Your trade played out. Be happy. Your trade played out, okay? And that was quite a significant trade for me yesterday. Okay, so let's switch this off. Then, okay, this morning, we got into another trade, right? And it was as simple as, based on the larger time frame, where I told everyone this looked to me, okay, if momentum is still going to continue here to the downside in a 1, okay, 2, and you have a 3-wave structure in 2, right? This is the momentum I'm trying to take advantage of, because this could be your A, you have your B flat that took the low, okay, and now you're creating your C wave here to the upside. It can create a running flat where it does not take that high. And this is why I highlighted some key profit-taking areas for the legends. So currently still in this trade. I already took a little bit of profits to cover fees. Position is protected. And basically what I highlighted yesterday or this morning early in the Legends live stream community was this little scenario over here. Okay, here's the trade, guys. Here's the trade. Right, so I just want to take this one out the way first, okay? I was looking at the structure as an A, B, C. Okay, look at that. Oh, what a beautiful tap on the 1.618. Okay, we had some, we had daily levels, we had weekly levels, we had point of controls. Okay, it's definitely a very attractive zone here at round about $114,000. Okay, and as price was falling here to the downside, I saw the reaction, guys, and I think that this is what gave me confidence. Okay, when I did the FIP pool, I saw that the 1-to-1 extension got a reaction, beautiful reaction. When it fell to the 1.236, it got a reaction. I think it lost no reaction there, but I knew because I saw reactions over here, I was like, what if we are all waiting? We are all waiting for this massive support here to the downside, and the market front runs it. So I said, guys, keep an eye on the 1.618. Okay, and this is where I got in. Right, when we broke trend, I added a little bit to the position, and my position is currently protected. I already took a little bit of profits, and yeah, guys, this was not a bad profit-taking area either. Okay, yeah, which reminds me, I'm going to take a little bit more profits, because I did tell myself I'm going to take profits at the highs. So I'm going to take a little bit more profit. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, there we go. There we go. Nice. You need to pay yourself, guys, because the market is unpredictable, and if you catch these trades, you need to pay yourself. Okay, so this is the trade that we are currently in. Okay, as a community, if you guys would like to join our Legends Pro community, okay, link is down here. Okay, there's the Legends Pro community link, where we jump into these trades together with good risk management, paying ourselves on the way up. Because now what I also told the legends is that now I'm looking at all I'm doing is, guys, I love trend-based extensions, trend-based FIP extensions. I love them. So I take a trend-based FIP from the high, from the low to the high to the low. Okay, now these areas to the upside becomes my profit-taking areas. Guys, I don't care if price does that. I want my trade to play out, and I need to follow my rules. Okay, so when we hit the 0.786, and I think, no, it was the 0.618. I can't remember. One of the two. I told the legends I'm taking some profits to cover my fees. So if I get stopped out, I lose nothing. It's a free trade. Okay. Next area, 1-to-1 extension. This is a juicy zone over here because you have this little pivot that's sticking out like a sore thumb. Okay, this is where I will take a majority of my profits, most probably 80% of my profits, and then I'll leave a moonbag open for higher levels. And if price does decide to rock and roll here to the upside and it taps that $18,000 area, okay, invalidating most of the bearish case scenarios, well, then I will add to that position. I will add to the strength depending on what I see to the upside. Okay, if I get stopped, if price turned, it looks like it wants to curl here at the moment. If price stops me out, at least, it's a free trade for me, guys. There's no loss, okay? It's nice to have these little attempts. You follow your rules so that if you are wrong, you lose nothing. That's what's important, okay? How well can you protect your cash? Right, so this is basically what I see here on the price of Bitcoin at the moment, guys. So let me go through some comments. Ooh. Hey, Andy, the legend in the house. Jack, always appreciate the mods here in the live stream. Stefan, you are the king of scalp. Andy, do not forget. Stefan, let's go. Andy here in the live stream. Shout out to Andy. Absolute epic technical and analyst here in the live stream. If you guys haven't checked out Andy's channel, if there's anyone here that has not seen Andy's channel, go and check Andy out. Subscribe. Okay, you won't regret it because there's very few YouTubers that actually teaches you what myself and Andy teaches here on our YouTube channels. Okay, it's not, we're not just perma bulls or perma bears. We look at technical levels. We get in, we apply the risk management, we get out, successful trade in the bag, right? That's what we do. So guys, go check out Andy's channel. He's here in the comment section. Epic scalps, Dewald on the pro community. Yes, I've been nailing the scalps for the last 2 days. And we don't always get it right, guys. We don't always get it right, but it's about how we protect our cash that keeps us profitable. Okay. I just want to see what CVD is doing here to the downside. Okay, let's just refresh this to see, well, can we still expect some upwards momentum? Okay, is CVD playing along? What is cooking? There's some local bearish CVD building up at the moment, but also it's a mix, guys. It's a mix between bullish and bearish at the moment. So who knows, guy? I'm just going to leave the trade until it plays out. If I get stopped, I get stopped with a little bit of profits. I just took some profits now. Right. So another scenario, okay? I actually told the Legends Pro community I want to discuss another scenario. So let me take this out the way. Okay, let's clean up the chart. Okay, just by the way, guys, by the way, okay, keep an eye on this zone. We have a weekly level, you have a daily level, and you have a point of control. So very strong support over here. Just keep an eye on this level. If price, you know, whether it continues here to the upside or whether it falls down here now, if price comes to the zone, it's an area that you need to pay attention to because this could give a nice little bounce here to the upside. Okay, but just remember, as long as price is below, okay, if price is below these levels, no trade for me personally. I am not interested in any trade as long as price is below. If price is trading above, now that becomes interesting. Okay, I'm not in the game of trying to catch bottoms here, guys. I'm not in that game. Okay, the only bottom that I will catch is this trend-based fib from the high to the low to the high. Okay, the only bottom, if price dips below the levels, is this level. Because that could give me a better entry. It scares all of the shit out of these people, okay? If it gets acceptance back above, I'm still applying the rules of my strategy. Stop loss goes below, okay? It gets acceptance back above. I have a better entry, which means I can protect, okay, while everyone enters over here. So that's the only level that I will still keep an eye on. If price does not take the high. If price does not take the high and it rolls over, this is the area that I'm looking as a maximum target. Okay. Right. So just wanted to quickly highlight these levels over here, legends. Now, there's another scenario. I just quickly want to go here onto the 1 hour time frame. Okay. Was it this one? Yes, guys, it was this one. Okay. Basically the same result, we take the low. Okay. Basically the same result. I was just, usually when you form a 3-wave structure, it gives you a or a W, doesn't really matter. Okay, 3-wave structure. It's just one scenario. You go up for a B, okay, in a B, C. This is why I'm trading this at the moment, because there's a chance, okay, that you could go and form a B wave over here, and then all hell breaks loose. Okay, you do not break the 18K. What I mean is, it's fine if you tap it. Okay, it struggles, so that becomes a great swing failure, shorting opportunity, and you break down in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside, and you have an A, B, C. So just something to keep in mind. Right, I need the B wave to be in order to calculate where the C wave can end up, guys. That's the only problem. Okay, I know that, from a price action perspective, you have a consolidation that can provide resistance. Okay, maybe price is going to struggle here. Maybe it swings the high, maybe it doesn't swing the high, but this provides resistance. Price could struggle here and break down. Okay, and once the B wave is in, I'll be able to have the levels that I'm going to be watching for a bounce. Right, let me go through some more comments. Okay, I'm enjoying the analysis, but not the price action. Facts, some of the best here on YouTube. Alec, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Much love, man. Yeah, let's see. Both Andy and Dewald have the same way of trading. Count the waves. Yeah, we count. Guys, sometimes I sound crazy to myself even. Why am I keep on counting the waves? And sometimes I will even say, stuff Elliott wave theory. We're just going to focus on support, resistance, trend lines, and then I start counting again. It's one of those things, guys. Once you start counting and you start grasping the concepts, you cannot look at a chart and not count. It is so difficult for me to look at a chart and not count. Okay, because I see the ones, I see the twos, I see the threes, I see the volume here supporting this B flat here to the upside. Like, it's just one of those things. Once you've seen it, it's difficult to unsee it. Okay, which reminds me, okay, let me go through some more comments. We have some news in 5 minutes. Dewald might get some movement, volatility. It would be nice if we get the movement here to the upside so the trade can play out and I can take my final profits. That would be absolutely fantastic. Okay, because this could be an A, B, C, okay? And then this is another A, B, C. This is your B, and then all hell breaks loose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, guys, this is a very dangerous area. I'm telling you guys now, this is a very dangerous area. Well, a very exciting area, I suppose. Okay, if price can successfully break above this pivot, if it can successfully break above properly, close some high time frame candles above, now that's going to look great for the bulls. Okay, but if it taps this level and it rejects, that becomes a great shorting opportunity. So that little pivot, okay, if we get there, it's going to be a nice little swing failure opportunity. Okay, but this could also be your 1, 2, 1, 2 ABC flat in your second 1, 2. Okay, doesn't have to claim the high. It can cause a running flat as well, but I mean it's more of your rare scenarios. But something that I wanted to point out purely from a trend line perspective. So now let's throw Elliott wave theory out the window. Okay, on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, let's just zoom into this little structure. From a trend line perspective, let's just keep it simple over here. Okay, you have broken out. Okay, you broke out. This is potentially your retest. Can you guys see that pivot tapped the trend to perfection. So for the bulls, this is where you want the magic to happen, and this is where price needs to break out, claim the high, okay, and ultimately claim the all-time high once again. Like, this is the zone, guys. This is the zone where the bulls need to step in, okay? Because from a trend line perspective, if you have a breakout, okay, and you have a retest, well, okay, this is where you load up to go and claim the high again. Right, so I think from a confirmation perspective, what you could do is to say that, well, I'm going to wait for this trend to break. I'm going to wait for this trend to break. I'm going to wait for high time frame candles to close above the trend. Okay, not a ping, my alarm goes off and I enter with everything that I have and it falls. Okay, you want it to break out. And most importantly, you want to take the high. Okay, you want to take the high, change market structure, higher high. You want higher low. Okay, and I think for me, that is the breakout that I will play. I will let it break out. I want it to change market structure. I'm not going to play anything over here. I want it to break out, and I want it to form a three-wave structure to the downside without taking that low. When it breaks this trend that's going to form over here, that is where I play the breakout. Because I'm acknowledging all the bearish case scenarios where price has a fake out and it just falls. Okay, so I would rather wait for confirmation inside of this zone. Right, so I'm not just going to play this trend breakout blindly, guys. I'm not going to just, okay, it breaks out, I enter. No, I will wait for market structure. Because if it breaks out here and it forms a lower high, there's a high chance you're going to take that low. Okay, I want it to break out, let it go, sit on my hands, let it break out. When it comes back in a three-wave structure, it's most likely going to form another trend. Okay, this is the line that I'm going to pay attention to. I'm going to play it a little bit more safe. I'm going to play a confirmation trade over here. I don't mind getting a higher entry with a better confirmation. Okay. Right, well, the beauty about the trade that we are currently in at the moment is if it does break out, okay, I'm already in the trade. If it comes back down, okay, it's an opportunity to add to the trade. Right, but definitely a profit-taking area for the trade that we are in at the moment. Right. Dewald, can I not find a solid 5-wave down from all-time high? Even multiple 1-2 looks crap. Yeah, Andy, I mean, this little momentum, let's just take the trend here out the way, is that the only way that I can count a double 1-2 is that this needs to be a 5-wave structure. This needs to be a B, C. It's not pretty. Okay, maybe a WXY, I don't know. 3-wave structure running flat because you took the lows, and then this is a 5-wave, another 5-wave structure here to the downside. Okay, where this forms another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that becomes your another one. This is an ABC flat, and then you have your another leg to the downside. It's the best way that I can count it here to the downside. So I think it's going to be better if I draw it. I can see a 5-wave structure here. This could arguably be a complex corrective structure in a running flat that did not take the high. Okay, but you have a flat, running flat. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that could be your second one. Okay, there's your 2. This is an A, B, C. This becomes a 2. And then you either form another 1, 2, or you just break down. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2. That's basically the double 1-2 that I see at the moment. Because this little move here to the downside it is a pretty 5-wave structure. This little move on the 15-minute time frame, it really is a pretty 5-wave structure. Okay, this one. Yeah, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However you want to count, but there's a 5-wave structure. You could then say, well, this is an A, okay, 3-wave structure in an A. Or an A, B, C here to the upside, okay, and then you have another A, B, C to form your B wave. And I must say, guys, this leg to the downside, because I see some people are counting this as a C wave, okay, it looks way better as an ABC. I tried this morning to count a 5-wave structure here. Now this is where I struggle with a 5-wave count. It looks way better as an A, B, C on the smaller time frames if you go to the 1 minute. Now that counts better because for an impulse you have a 1, 2, okay, and then you have a 3. It just doesn't make sense because it's expanding, okay? You're now looking at an expanding structure which doesn't make sense to me. It just counts better as an ABC. Also tap the 1.6182 to perfection so it matches the targets, okay? So if this is 1, 2, 3, now that makes sense. Where's 4 and where's 5? So it does count better as a 3-wave structure, which tells me that the most bearish case scenario, okay, if we are going to continue momentum to the downside, is that this is 1, this is A, and this is a 3-wave structure in B flat, okay? Nice little flat. And now you want to see a C or a W, XY, you know, W, X, Y, Z doesn't really matter, guys, but you want to see a little bit more of upwards momentum. Right. I mean, if price is going to fall from here, that would be very strange. Okay, if this is a 1, 2, 3, it would be very strange for price to fall from where it is at the moment. It makes more sense to gain a little bit more upwards momentum. Okay, the most commonly you want to take the high. Okay, A, B, C. Take the high, that becomes a shorting opportunity, and you fall down. Okay. Right, I don't do Elliott waves, it's noise. Well, Elliott waves enabled me to get into yesterday and today's trade. Yes, it was done with trend lines, but there was a lot of Elliott wave analysis that went in the background as well. 3-wave structures, 5-wave structures. Okay, it's not always about the scenarios, guys. I'm not sure what's the best way to explain it, but often, you know, when I go here onto the 4-hour, 1-hour time frame, I will go through multiple scenarios. And then you feel like a chameleon on a Smarty box and you don't know which way to go. But I can tell you guys here, on the smaller time frames, when I play a D line, for example. So yesterday, when I played this little breakout. Okay, yesterday, when I played this little breakout, I think it was this one. Okay. I saw a 3-wave structure. I saw a 3-wave structure. 3-wave structure. Now that's part of Elliott wave theory. I don't need to know the bigger count. But for me to apply my trading strategy, I see a 3-wave structure. I see a breakout. There's a high chance you're going to claim the high. Now Elliott wave theory gave me that knowledge. Okay. Where in the past this used to happen. Okay, there's a 5-wave structure. It has a trend. I play the breakout and it falls to the downside. Because if you have a 5, 3, 5, okay, so if you have a 5-wave structure to the downside and you try and apply your trend, you're going to see your ass every single time, especially if you only take profits when you hit the highs. Right, so Elliott wave theory has really improved my trading. Okay, the reason why some people or most people don't like Elliott wave theory is because it's extremely difficult to master. It's extremely difficult to learn, and you have to put in the work. You have to do many counts, ABCs, WXYs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, double 1, 2s. You have to do them over and over and over. You have to study the theory. You have to reverse the price of Bitcoin. You have to count the structures. It takes a lot of work. And unfortunately, people want to be successful in trading, but they don't want to put in the work. Right, so it might not be your flavor, and all I want to say is that you don't need to know Elliott wave theory in order to be a successful trader, but it has improved my trading because I've studied Elliott wave theory. Right, let's go. Let the party begin. Also the project, the direction and targets. Yes, also to project the direction and targets. Exactly. And this is, guys, this trade, okay, this little trade down here, okay, because I know Elliott wave theory, I knew that there's a high chance you're going to bounce here, because if this is a 3-wave structure, A, B, C, That's where you want to bounce. And we had all these levels here to the downside. Okay, and I told the legends, I highlighted this level. Okay, let me show you guys. Where was this? Early this morning. Here we go. Highlighted. Oh, that's after it played out already. There was one where I highlighted as we were falling. Guys, pay attention to the 1.618. Okay, I know it's a front running level. Everyone is waiting for the weekly level, the daily level, naked point of control, strong area, most probably a lot of limit orders there. I don't know. And the market loves to front run. And because I know three-wave structure targets, I knew that there's a chance we're going to tap that level and bounce and front run this whole zone over here. And I know that I can get in with exceptionally good risk management at these levels because, you know, it's my style of trading. Okay, my style of trading is, I just want to get it a little bit because it was something like that. Right. My style of trading is aggressive, but I do practice good risk management. You tap a level, price starts moving up, I enter. Even if I'm a little bit late, guys, I enter. I know exactly where to put my stop loss. Okay, and then what happened? Price moved in my favor. Yes, often what happens is you get those double bottoms or even triple bottoms, and it's about being persistent and keep on practicing your good risk management. It's my style of trading. And right, and then there's also the confirmation trade. You wait for the bounce, you look for the three-wave corrective structure. Okay, there was also a trend there that I highlighted because it's a three-wave corrective structure. Let me see if I did do that. Yep. Guys, if you missed the 1.618, well, there's the trend line breakout, and for the moment, it's a three-wave structure. So if it successfully breaks out, there's a high chance you're going to claim this local high and the high above. Okay, that's where, you know, highlighted the profit-taking areas and so forth. And it's Elliott wave theory that gave me this knowledge. Okay, to trade with a little bit more confidence. Okay, and this could be the trade, guys. You enter. Okay, you have your breakout. So maybe you enter over here. You claim the high. Trade played out. Okay, that's a nice little risk to reward. Stop, profit. Okay. Yes, I'm gunning for higher levels, but I did take profits here at the highs. I already took profits in the live stream here at the highs. So if price rolls over, I get stopped out at break even. I lose nothing. Right. Grab liquidity. ETH has some liquidity on the heat map and the CME gap too, so it could be interesting for a bounce. Yeah, that's the one I have. That wave 2 not even hitting. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Andy. I get what you're saying. Okay, with this little momentum here to the downside, yes, I get it. If you take a fib from the high to the low, okay, it did not even hit the minimum target, the 0.236. I know, but you know, we need to consider it. It's still, so structure always takes priority over everything else. And this is why I'm still entertaining the bearish case scenario in a 1-2. The only reason I'm still entertaining this bearish case scenario and another 1-2 is because structure always takes priority. It's not pretty because we didn't hit a minimum target, but at least we hit it over here. Okay, at least it got hit. Minimum target, not pretty. At least you want the 0.382 to be hit. But I have seen a couple of times where we're waiting. It doesn't happen. Do you guys remember this little structure? I will never forget this little structure. Okay, especially with momentum to the downside, guys, because we all know we climb the stairs to the upside and price jumps out the window to the downside. Okay, let's just wait for this price action to load up over here. I'm not sure why it's taking so long. Okay, maybe oh, here we go. Do you guys remember? Boom, 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 boom. Where was this? Yeah. Let's just wait. Okay, you're just waiting forever for the 0.382 and it just never gets hit. So I know that Bitcoin can do it, right? You all know this. Waiting. No, it can't be a 2. Can't be a 2. It didn't hit the minimum target. Okay, and then pooh, here to the upside again. So I know the price can do that, right? Again, 0.382 didn't get hit. So I know that it can do it to the downside as well. And that is why for me, structure always takes priority. So yes, the only reason I'm still entertaining a 112, even though we didn't hit that, is because I've seen this before. And you can count 5 waves down here. This can be a shallow correction that did not tap the 0.382. I can count 5 waves down here. So it's the structure that's more important to me. I can count 5 waves. I can see a 3-wave structure. I can count 5 waves, and I at the moment can see a 3-wave structure. So if it wants to dump, well, then we knew, okay, 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5 here to the downside. Yes, from a probability perspective, does it carry high probability? No, because most commonly your 1 2 at least hits the 0.382. So it does impact the probabilities, but I have seen it play out before. Okay. Right. Okay, ETH. I will go through ETH in a moment, guys, but also remember, okay, Bluffin, VIP2, VIP1, VIP2, and you get exceptionally low trading fees. You deposit $25,000 into Bluffin, you automatically get VIP2 or VIP1, $50,000 for VIP2, and you get insane low trading fees. You also get 10% up to $3,000. Okay, by signing up with the link down in the description. All right, guys, take advantage. This is currently, I must be honest, okay, I'm not gonna lie, Bybit used to be my favorite exchange, and I still trade with Bybit, but Bluffin is now my most favorite. I really enjoy trading on Bluffin, and you guys will see every time I share P&Ls, okay, it will be on Bluffin. Okay, do I still have P&Ls open over here somewhere? I think I might have deleted them yesterday. You guys can see, okay, I take most of my trades on Bluffin at the moment. It's just such a beautiful exchange to trade on. And like I said, guys, for me, fees doesn't matter because I play bigger moves, okay? And I can tell you guys now, if I go back here onto the 5-minute time frame and I show you guys this little trade that I took yesterday, okay, because I think sometimes people are obsessed with fees, okay, because maybe you're trading the fucking 1 second time frame. I don't know what you guys are trading that you're not making profits even with high fees, well, that you consider as high fees. So just want to point this out, guys. This little trade, okay, this little trade over here, this little trade cost me $500 in fees. This trade cost me $500 in fees. But because it's a nicely planned out trade, good risk management, and I took profits exactly where I was supposed to take profits, okay, I think I need to go back, guys, but I think I made $6,000 with this little trade. So the fees doesn't matter for me, okay, because I'm playing bigger moves, even if it's a scalp, right? I mean, in comparison, it looks like nothing. I mean, you know, if you look at this structure here on the 15-minute, 1-hour time frame, okay, it's insane, guys. That is the move that I traded. Okay, it wasn't a big swing trade or anything like that, but that little move, yes, the fees were high, but the profits were much higher. Right, so I think that the one thing about the Bluffin that I really enjoy is the UI, the interface, where when I enter, I can immediately drag my TPs and my stop losses up and down. I think that's the one thing about Bluffin that I really enjoy. Okay, right. Yo, joining late, we'll watch on 2 times speed. Mr. Simon, welcome to the live stream. I'm actually wrapping up here at the moment. So, legends, thank you so much for joining the live stream and for smashing up the like button. This is all I have to say for today. So, let's see how price develops. And I will all see you in the next one. Trade safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers for now.